Hey everybody, it's New Year's Eve and welcome to day 7 of the 2025 Eric's Trains Christmas Bonanza. 8 videos in 8 days, starting on Christmas Day and ending with a live show right here on my YouTube channel at 2 p.m. Eastern on New Year's Day. So for day 7, I've actually got a double feature for you. Yeah, I'm releasing 2 videos at the same time. This video is a Weaver kit car build, and then the other video that I'm releasing at the same time is an Atlas unboxing. So you're getting 2 videos for the price of one. Anyway, let's get started with this video. These are a couple of Weaver Models O-scale kits that were made, I think, back in the 80s. Now, this might be an assembled car. I think it's assembled. This is an unassembled kit that doesn't include the trucks. Fortunately, I've got some spare Weaver trucks. So let's check this one out first. I got this at York this year. So this is a Reading hopper. ACF center flow covered hopper, Reading. Now this one already has the trucks. I think these are Lionel style trucks. So this may have already been assembled at some point. And it looks like it has weights on the inside too. So this one I think is pretty good to go, although it's missing a couple steps. I might have to see if I can fix that at some point and fabricate a couple steps. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. I like it. I'll probably weather this at some point just because it's got some scuffs where it's been in the box over the years. So yeah, I'll weather this at some point, but that's a good looking hopper, and I got it really cheap at York. It was like $18 or something like that, so not bad at all. Oh wait, in the box, the steps are there in the box. So that'll make repairing that very easy. And look at this. This is an old Flyer that came in the box when this was new. And I think this is from the 1980s. I could be wrong. I mean, there's no web address certainly on here. And each of these cars, brand new, they were 1995. Ready to run with popular 10-plate trucks. So that must have been what this was part of, their Ready to Run series. Scranton, Pennsylvania. And then they've got some locomotives here, an RS3. $140 for a conventional RS3. That's the 2-rail version. The 3-rail version was $150 for use with Lionel. It's amazing. Oh, yeah, there it is. Orders received by February 1st, 1987. Get free shipping. So yeah, 1987, 86, 87, something like that. Pretty cool. Now, this other box is a kit. And Weaver did make a lot of kits back in the day. Same style of box, I'm guessing this is from the 80s as well. Got some screws in the bottom for the trucks. The trucks are not included, but like I said, I do have some spare Weaver trucks. Let's see what we got here. I believe it's complete. So we got the bottom, we've got the 2 walls for the ends, and then we've got the body. All the hatches are up here. The walkway is right here. I think this broke off. I can see the pieces of plastic in there, so I will have to fix that with some CA glue as well, but that should be easy. But I want to put this thing together. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach some trucks to the bottom here so I can put it on the rails. And then I'll add some weight to it just to give it a little more heft, and then we'll finish assembling it. So I've got some Weaver trucks here and couplers. I have a stash of Weaver trucks in my parts bin. So one thing about being in this hobby is the more time you spend in this hobby, the bigger your parts bin gets. Eventually, you kind of have a good supply of parts. All right, they include the screws. I'm going to use these long ones. These are for scale couplers, these shorter screws. Those are for if you're going to attach scale couplers, which we're not. So these will go in my screw bin. And for whatever reason, they always used flathead screws on these Weaver trucks. I don't know why they did that, but just an old school thing. They always did, these flathead screws. Now later on, toward the later years of Weaver, they started using Phillips head, but a lot of the older ones use these flathead screws, which, you know, they're okay. They're fine. And these kits are a lot of fun. You know, over the years, I've I've bought several kits here and there. You can usually find them on eBay for pretty cheap, or at York. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Do the other side. And they're just kind of a fun little rainy day project you can do. Putting together a kit car. Now, these are fairly simple kits, but you can get really complex kits from like Intermountain Railway. I've got a Santa Fe boxcar that I did when I had my knee surgery. I sort of was limited in what I could do, and so I would sit and assemble these couple kits that I got off eBay that were made by Intermountain. Very complex kits. And I'll show that car in a later video. I need to weather it to hide a lot of my mistakes, but it's a cool car. But these Weaver kits are relatively simple. Basically, they did everything for you. You just have to assemble it. Now that it's on the track, that'll make it a little bit easier to work with, especially when it comes to adding weights. So out of my weight bin, I've got 2 of these square weights. I think these will work nicely. Just put some CA glue on the bottom and locate it as close to the truck as you can, which on this one is about right there. Like that, and then I'll put some Instaset, squirt some under there and get nice and set in there. And I'll do the same on this side. There we go. Now, if you really wanted to get fancy with the weights, you could bolt them down, but I always just use CA glue. Okay, that should give us some decent weight, but you know, I think I might add just a little more. You know what? Let me get my scale. Right now with the trucks and everything, it's coming in right at 9.7 ounces. I've got some more of these. Maybe we can just use these. About 2.5 ounces. I think I'll just stop there. That'll bring it up to about 12.5 ounces, which is close enough. And for a small car like that, that'll be fine. All right, so we got those on there. Now we're going to assemble the rest of the car. And this is where probably the most tricky part of doing these little hoppers is that you gotta get these things in there right. I think they go like that, and then like that. It's always a little tricky getting them in there. There we go. There's 2. And now the real tricky part is you got to line the bottoms of those up with these little grooves here. So let's see if I can do that. Okay, I got that side done. All right. Now, of course, the big question is how do you get it to stay together? And there's no screws. Sometimes a lot of these kits will just pop together and you got to cement it. So I think that's what I'm going to have to do is fortunately, I've done this before, so it's been a while, but I have done this before, so. I think that's it now. I gotta get the Instaset in there. Instaset is your friend. Okay, it's looking pretty good. And then we got these hatches here. We gotta line up. Yeah, that feels pretty good. So the last thing I need to do is get that walkway secured on there. Get these little hatches straightened out. Okay, let's see if I can get this on here. It's looking pretty good. For this, I'm going to use the Instaset spray just to get under there. And I think we're done. It's a nice, well-weighted hopper. Looks great. I will probably weather this at some point just to make it look even better, but yeah. Pretty cool. And just in case you're wondering what I paid for this, I got it on eBay, and I believe I paid like $17 or $18 for it, plus shipping, so it was about maybe $25 total. And it's a very nice car. And it's kind of cool to bring one of these old kits back to life, get it assembled, and get it doing what it was always meant to do, which is to run on a layout. And that's exactly what it's going to do now. So Very cool. That's going to do it for day 7 of the 2025 Eric's Trains Christmas Bonanza. I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern for the live show on New Year's Day. To discuss this model or any other O-gauge model, or just to talk trains in general, check out the OGR online forum at ogrforum.com.